This doesn't feel good enough to be worth keeping. This is good. Okay. We're happy with this. Not that I actually want to get rid of any of these cards, though, is the main problem. I guess I'm going to get rid of Growth Spiral. I just don't have anything to ramp into with this hand as it stands. And we have Clover anyway, so we don't really need it. I'm really uncertain about whether we can afford to lose the Paradise Druid mana fixing for Omnath specifically. Could we just, like, cut Omnath? Is that an option? Ledger Shredder? Oh no. Boop. Boop. I love when my opponent goes turn 2 Ledger Shredder and I just play 2 spells on turn 3 anyway. What would you replace Omnath with? I don't know. Time Warps and Mizzix's Masteries if I had my way, but I don't think I'm allowed to have my way. Are you really going to kill my Edgewall Innkeeper? Lightning Axe. Wow. Okay, deal. Alright. We have entered a truly strange portion of the game where I might have to play fairly, which is like a horrifying idea. Keep in mind you're keeping the white even if you cut Omnath because the Fifth Escape is just that good. I don't think I actually even have Escape to the Wilds number 5 in the sideboard. I have already cut that. Alright. Well, 2 Crackling Drakes is a bit of a problem. There's a strong chance we have already died. Let's see... I probably am just supposed to get red cap melee expansion, which is boring. I'm probably still going to die. I don't think that actually stops it. I could get land red cap melee and try to play escape. I don't think that's good enough. This is one of those spots where Boseiju not being a land that is like a fetch land that gets all colors of mana is sort of a problem. I could Thud Bonecrusher at a Crackling Drake to have 1 more mana. That's probably not relevant. This is what Boseiju is for, but Boseiju is a green land, which is not helpful. Like, previously in the past, I've used the Fabled Passage, but because of Omnath, you actually have to play all 4 Fabled Passages, which is, like, bad. 1 on top. Land. Very well. So, land, Bonecrusher swing. Play Fae of Wishes, pass the turn, hope the opponent doesn't have a Phoenix. Okay. Do we have the capacity to change anything here? Historically, I probably need to change this sideboard because we should probably have like 2 more Grafdigger's cages in the sideboard. Actually, yeah, there's like no point in having a Tormod's Crypt, right? Well, that's not true. Maybe there's other combo decks that use the graveyard in this format, and Grafdigger's Cage doesn't affect Grease Fang. Yeah. Alright, well, that means we kind of just have to roll with this. Tormod's Crypt costs 0, but it also is not Grafdigger's Cage, so you can't just, like, board in duplicate copies, which is a reason to have more than one of a specific one. I mean, I guess I could board in Grafdigger's Cage, but then I wouldn't be able to tutor Grafdigger's Cage, which kind of is a bummer. I want both. Shock to hold up, consider on turn 1? Okay. Yeah, we can board in the cage, but is it correct to? It might be correct too. Well, I like this start a lot. I'm gonna grab a mountain. Gonna grab an island. Keep up my options. Not gonna trigger Ledger Shredder. Expressive Iteration? Okay, well, then I'm going to kill the Ledger Shredder. This seems good for me. Please no Spell Pierce one time. Oh, please just be a cantrip, not Spell Pierce. Yay! Ooh, we even hit a lance. Cool. Let's see. Shock and a land, and we're gonna hold up Stomp on their turn, because, like, what else am I gonna do? Yeah, those are the spots where Innkeeper is at its best. It is sad not getting to play Narset against Phoenix, though. Is this keepable? People who've played with this card before, tell me. Am I allowed to keep this on the draw against Phoenix? I'm assuming the answer is no. This card isn't that good, right? Not allowed to keep. Alright, good. This, however, we are allowed to keep. Growth Spiral, go away. What would you want to see on the implied 5-color Omnath Locus of everything? I don't know. What's like the explicit design space for 5-color nonsense? Because normally it just does everything. Spell Pierce. Okay. Protection from everything. Whee! Alright, I love when my Phoenix opponent doesn't do anything. That's my big favorite. Crackling Drake. Oh no! Cool. I love when I get to answer Crackling Drake. So here's the question. Do I want to deck thin? Or do I want this Fabled Passage to make an Omnath off the top better? I feel like I probably don't want to deck thin here. Can a 5-color deck run basics? I mean, this deck is mostly basics, and it's 4 colors. So, like, hypothetically, maybe. All you need is a card like Beanstalk Giant that automatically fixes all of your mana for you. Don't you dare spell pierce me. Thank you. Okay. I mean, fair, I was going to win that game, opponent. Omnath Locus of everything has all activated and triggered abilities of other creatures on the battlefield. Yeah, that'd be an interesting design. Make it cost like 7 mana. I could see it. It'd probably still be like busted even at 7 mana. Not like in Constructed, or well, not like in 1v1, but in Commander, be cool. Okay, well this does not give us turn 2 Growth Spiral, unfortunately. But it is good, so we're still going to keep. We're still going to play the turn 1 Innkeeper because at least that, like, forces my opponent to interact with me. Maybe that was wrong, because I didn't have a turn 2 play anyway. Well, I have turn 2 Brazen Borrower, so, like, forcing the stomp here is fine. Oh, I really wanted to top deck Growth Spiral mana. Oh, deck. Oh, okay. Well, apparently my opponent doesn't have anything. What? Opponent? Opponent, you're not supposed to play Tapland Bloodtithe Harvester instead of Bonecrusher. Okay. Unfortunately, our mana is being extremely uncooperative here. Opponent? What are you doing? Opponent, what are you doing? You're just gonna let me keep doing this? Come on, Tapland. Hey, cool. Never didn't have it. Just the natural turn 4 Omnath. They're trying so hard. Oh, bless them. I could Fae of Wishes for the land drop here, or I could just hit the land drop in the next 2 turns by playing Growth Spiral, and then get to Bonecrusher, the Bloodtithe Harvester. And that's just, like, better. Holding on to the Bonecrusher Giant Stomp here in case they decide to animate Den, because I haven't understood the rest of their plays. Plus, like, maybe they'll be tempted to blow up their own Bloodtithe Harvester to fizzle my Bonecrusher that I don't care about. Oh, they weren't. Bummer. Okay, well, Torture Defiance, adds mana, plays stuff. Oh, it's just a Soaring. Wow, they really don't want to kill me, huh? Wow, they really don't want to kill me, huh? Opponent, you kind of have to kill me, though. You kind of really have to kill me, though, opponent.
Today's my lucky day.
Wow, I don't care about any of this at all.
You're going down.
Families call me their adversary. I'll go ahead.
No, I'm good, opponent. I don't need to discard anything. Yeah, Showdown not being able to put lands into play kind of makes it, like, not a very appealing card to me. Like, most of the value of the escape is just, well, not most, but ramping is such a big part of it. Ooh, well, that's cool. Well, that's disappointing. Do you mean to say that if I want to get the extra land drop from this Beanstalk Giant, I have to not get the mana from the Omnath? Think, 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 think. Think, 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 think. Okay, so I can go Lucky Clover, then Beanstalk Giant, then Omnath, then land. And I won't get the Omnath mana this turn. True. But I will gain the life, and I will draw the card. It's like saying that unexpected windfall is not a big score. I do not think that's true. I think, like, Showdown of the Scalds is considerably worse than Escape to the Wilds. Maybe I'm underrating Showdown, but, like, I don't think 4 mana draw 4. Ooh. Huh. Wait, that just lets me cast another escape, right? And then I get to play this forest anyway? And, like, punch all of their planeswalkers? I mean, like, that's cool. Do I want to play a tap land rather than this forest? Does it matter? I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, we'll play the tap land then. Boop. Bye-bye, bye-bye, Bob. You tried. You tried so hard. The forest is going away, yeah, but the Ketria Triome is probably going away next turn too. Oh, cool. Also, punching the Chandra means that they don't have enough loyalty to downtick on my Omnath? That's fun. No, my Omnath! Where will I ever find another Omnath? Yeah, there's a bunch of creatures, I guess. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. No, my Omnath! Alright, well, what if I play an Omnath? See what we draw. An Edgewall Innkeeper? I mean, I guess that's probably interesting. Alright, let's play Fable, gain some life, crack the Fable, make some mana, cast an Escape to the Wilds, draw some cards. Cool. Let's see, I've already used the extra Omnath mana. We only have the one Fae of Wishes. Can I win the game here? I feel like I can probably win the game here if I don't play this Lucky Clover. Actually, how many land drops do I have? Is it just this land drop? Yeah, it was just that land drop. Okay. Well, let's just try to win this turn. Oh, wait, this is super, super, super easy to win. Right, I just get Alchemist's Gambit and Thud, and then we win. Because I have a lot of lands in play. And if you have a lot of lands in play, you can just throw a Beanstalk Giant at your opponent. Boop. Whee! Omnath definitely, I guess, did not get killed by the Eldrazi. So, like... Wait, no, Omnath isn't the Avatar of the Plane. Isn't that a Shia? So Omnath is, like, the Avatar of Mana? Is that, like, the idea? Oh. Anyway, submit. Shia as an avatar? I believe so. Yeah, this is probably fine. Yeah, like a Shia Soul of the Wild. MTG Lore, a Shia. Oh, cool. I get a blue growth spiral on turn 2. A Shia is a 30-foot tall bipedal elemental. It is a fragment of Zendikar's World Soul. Okay. Not that I am entirely sure what a World Soul is. Let's see. I guess I probably want to play Edgewall Innkeeper into Bonecrusher here. That gives us next turn Fae of Wishes for... I guess I can't get a Escape to the Wilds, can I? So what am I supposed to Fae of Wishes for in that spot? Growth was pretty good this game. But there's certainly been a lot of spots where we didn't have the mana to cast it, and it wasn't, like, stellar. No! My Innkeeper! Now I'm sad. Anyway. Trade with that creature, because we can. What do I have that I can Fae of Wishes for here? I could Fae of Wishes for Ugin. That'd be, like, kind of cool. Probably better to just play the Clover. I bottomed Growth after mulliganing, with hands that didn't have mana that supported it. Which I think is kind of meaningful context. That doesn't necessarily make it bad. What are the chances my opponent has another Go Blank? I think that I don't need mana badly enough to risk playing a land here. I'd rather play around a second Go Blank, I think.
Let's do this.
Cool. Okay.
Now you're playing with fire.
Oh, cool. That was a good time to draw Escape to the Wilds. Cool, 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 cool. Do I want to play these lands rather than... Yes, I still want to play these lands rather than the lands from hand in order to play around Go Blanks. Because I might as well. Also, they're going away and I'm going to cast another Escape to the Wilds next turn anyway. So, like, I have every reason to use all the lands from exile while I can. Real Bonecrusher targets Chandra, fake Bonecrusher targets Blood Tithe Harvester, so they can't sack the Blood Tithe Harvester, or, like, Fatal Push it, is, I guess, what I'm actually worried about. But mostly, my opponent's entire deck looks really embarrassed by Escape to the Wilds as a single card. I guess I can Beanstalk Giant first before Escape to the Wilds. That's probably correct ordering. I do not have enough mana to escape into another Clover and still cast the Beanstalk Giant. I believe I'm one short of that. Would you play Uro in this deck? No, not enough room for it. Being first stops you from getting mana if you flip Omnath. But I wouldn't be able to play Omnath, and I guess if I escaped first and then hit... No, there's no way I can hit Omnath and get mana this turn, right? Yeah. With different amounts of mana, playing these in different order would be meaningful. But I think with this amount of mana specifically, I'm supposed to play Beanstalk first. Yeah, if I'd played the Sacred Foundry earlier, instead of skipping my land drop for a turn, I suppose I would have enough mana. But I still believe that to have been the correct decision to not make that land drop. Is Genesis Ultimatum a possibility in this deck, or does not play well enough with Clover/Fae? There's just no room for it, really. Like, it's not a bad card to have. It just, yeah, no room, no reason to want it. If I wanted a 7-drop, I would probably prefer Alrund's Epiphany. Oh, what the heck. What's the worst my opponent could do? Kill me? An Edgewall Innkeeper realistically prevents 2 damage here, sort of. No Henge or Once and Future Sideboard. You just don't really need them. I feel like it's much better to have, let me see it. The Body of Research, Thud, Alchemist's Gambit option over those kind of things. Like, the vast majority of the time you can just kill your opponent instantly with that, rather than trying to, do long-term value stuff that requires you to have control of the board anyway. Once in Future was playable in, control mirrors where you needed to keep looping counterspells over and over and over. It was a decent card against Wilderness Reclamation, but that was before this deck had access to extra turn spells and Thud. Okay. We did indeed get there. Mana Confluence will be here soon? Yeah. That's... Mana Confluence is probably worse than Aether Hub, to be entirely honest, as far as, the tutorable mana-fixing spell. Because, the situation is that you'll run into, oh, I want to use Fae of Wishes to grab this land and still have my Bonecrusher, or still have my Petty Theft up this turn. And the fact that it makes colorless mana after that turn isn't super relevant, because the deck just gets to use generic mana pretty effectively, whereas Mana Confluence still makes you pay 1 life every turn after that. Yeah, seems bad, but I'll just top deck well, so it'll be fine. Okay. Beanstalk Giant's cool. We'll get Mana Confluence at some point, although who knows when that at some point is. So what are we playing against that's Esper? Just Esper midrange with Raffine, maybe? Or Jank? Who can say? Okay. I would like to play this Clover around Censor or Jawari Disruption. Is that cool? Apparently that's cool. You're gonna Void Rend my Lucky Clover? I'm playing against Void Rend? Void Rend isn't good enough for Standard. Why are we playing in an Explorer? Are you gonna censor me now? No. Okay, make disappear. That's fine. I mean, I probably want to cycle both of these, right? I probably want to cycle both of these. Alright, let's go ahead and Beanstalk Giant, now that we can play around, make disappear. I guess I'll get an island? This feels mostly irrelevant. Wow. Opponent getting in there for their card draw, just taking 6 to the dome. We are truly desperate to cast that Wandering Emperor, huh, opponent? Alright. I shall not fault you. Draw red mana. Play Edgewall. Play Bonecrusher. Cycle Raugrin Triome next turn. That is true. I should probably be fetching forests more often. I'm inclined to agree with that. You can't, Bona. You have to play the Wandering Emperor this turn. Okay. I guess not. That's fine by me. I could Fertile Footsteps with the Beanstalk Giant this turn, but I think I'd rather cycle the Raugrin Triome. Oh, okay. Sure. Scarab God it is, I guess. Omnath, draw a card. We're kind of low on, like, card draw at the moment. Oh. The opponent blocks, we can stomp the Scarab God at the end of turn, but the opponent elects not to block, which is fine. So what do we have? Nothing in the graveyard, one Beanstalk Giant in the graveyard. So the opponent can reanimate a 4/4 that's a 4/4. Or, I think the Scarab God 4/4 overwrites the Beanstalk Giant XX? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, Growth Spiral. Cool, 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 cool. Cool, 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 cool. You willing to block the Omnath opponent? There's a 4/4. Okay, so I can Petty Theft the Scarab God and just kill the token? Is that better than trading? I think I'm probably supposed to Petty Theft the Scarab God. The lack of blue mana here is a little awkward. Absorb? Wow. Okay. That's a little wild, opponent, but okay. I guess now I'm going to be playing aggressively. So they have no creatures. Oh, they can reanimate my Omnath. It kind of bites a lot. I kind of need to know if this Beanstalk Giant is resolving. They are looking to find out if it does. Cool. Do I need to attack here and trade with the Omnath? Probably. I do not want them having an Omnath. Stomp the Scarab God here at the end of turn so that it goes back into their hand at the beginning of their next instep, and not now. I have had as a Topple Blade against me. I see. Well, I can't swing through an indestructible creature with a Beanstalk Giant, but I can have 2 Beanstalk Giants. Does that have Vigilance? Wow. You actually think Clover's the best deck? Yeah, by probably a pretty wide margin. No, my Edgewall! Okay. So I'm assuming we have a removal spell for Beanstalk then? Oh, you have a Wandering Emperor? Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. I might not be able to win this. Or maybe... Or maybe not. I'll take it. I mean, if we had drawn like a Fae of Wishes at any point in that game, we would have won instantly, but I guess that works too. Huh. Alright, well, no changes. They accidentally made a 2/2 after blocks had been declared, rather than exiling the 10/10. I think it's kind of wild that you're on 27 lands here and there's just no punish for it. I mean, not being on 28 lands is always a punish. Is the ultimatum not available in this format? It is, it's just not good enough to play. His hand's great. There's just no need to play the ultimatum when you can play the Thud combo with, like, extra turn spells instead. The ultimatum costing 7 mana is just, like, way too much mana for not enough win. The deck doesn't need to win through card advantage now that it has access to, like, a dozen different ways to win with Fling. What are the odds that I want to cycle this Ketria Triome? Like, maybe good? Probably not that good. I've got a Fae of Wishes. Alright, if you want to counter the Beanstalk Giant, I like that more than you countering Omnath. Oop. Bye-bye, kitty cat. I bet you're just going to hang out next to me still. No! The Beanstalk Giant into draw Lucky Clover! The worst of all worlds. Alright, buddy, you want to counter the Omnath? You're allowed to. Oh, alright. That wasn't that scary. What you got for me this time, opponent? More obscure interceptors against the deck with Stomp. That's kind of a little bit maybe questionable. Did we just Void Rend the Clover instead of the Omnath? Okay. Interesting. Oh, cool. Escape to the Wilds. I'm sure that's going to be completely fair. And not just, like, abhorrently silly at all. Could play the Beanstalk Giant too, but, like, it's probably less fun. My opponent sure did spend a bunch of turns in a row attempting to answer this Omnath. And, like, still wind up getting 3-for-1 by it. I could probably make this trade. I guess Obscure Interceptor is actually pretty cool with, what's the name? Scarab God, which I think is, like, the idea behind their deck. Okay, so we have to have another Dovin's Veto for Fae of Wishes opponent, right? That's our game plan here? Or just an absorb, sure. They are at 34, so I got a long way to go. Silly opponent. I don't have good cards in my hand. All my good cards are coming off the top of my deck. Gaining 4 life really is a lot of life. It's kind of absurd when you think about it.
I've learned much during my travels.
The Oko Food deck was probably stronger than this deck?
I have got
Highly doubt it. But
This is what you get for hurting my people.
cool. I'm trying to think if the Oko Food deck could play enough counter spells. Maybe? It's not... They can't actually turn Clovers into Elk on curve, because then you just Elk and kill their Oko. Like, it's one of those ideas that, like, hates on a card in the deck that sounds like it's a counter, but, like, in practice, curving out, I don't think actually works at all. Cool, Siphon Insight. I mean, Escape to the Wilds is good, so I guess they could, like, steal that from me. Oh, opponent, you're going to be extremely disappointed by how this works. They do, in fact, keep the Beanstalk Giant. The problem is, because they played Fertile Footsteps, they lost the part of the effect that lets them use any color of mana, so now they can no longer cast that Beanstalk Giant at all. Am I supposed to hold lands for rebuying Fae? Yeah, probably. Although I assume that if I ever get a Fae, I kind of just win. Because, like, I just grab Expansion Explosion. But it could be relevant. Omnath? Oh no! Thanks. They could steal a forest. That's true. That's true. Scarab God. Hey, that actually is an inconvenience. No, now it's not. Cool. I do wish I had one more mana, but oh well. Bonk, bonk, bonk. They should not have made that block. Alright, so their Scarab God comes back at the beginning of their next instep, which would be scary, except it isn't. No, not my Omnath. That does stop me from having lethal this turn. Never mind. I don't know why I ever give the impression that I'm not going to top deck like the perfect card at any given moment. It's just my attempt to introduce a bit of drama to the proceedings. Let's see. What's the best way to win here? I can't Ugin them. I guess we'll Expansion Explosion. I would love to do 2 damage to them and draw 2 cards. So if they hadn't blocked with the Scarab God there, they would have untapped with the ability to get back 2 Obscure Interceptors as 4/4 lifelinkers, and I probably wouldn't have actually been able to beat that. I mean, maybe I would have because I ended up drawing the Fae, but it would have been close. I guess they would have needed to rebuy 1 4/4 to block its sorcery speed, and then could have reanimated the other 4/4 to bounce my Fae back to hand. Yeah, they might have been able to win that if they hadn't blocked. I had a chicken bake and oatmeal for lunch. I could do a pizza. Sushi? At this time of night? I doubt it, but that's... I wish. There's a sushi place next to my work that I get like probably 3 or 4 times a week, but it's like $20 to $30 per meal, which is like kind of expensive. So I'm trying not to do it like hyper often. But it certainly is the tastiest and I assume the best for me. So it feels like the kind of thing that you don't care too much about spending more money on. So you're telling me I'm on the draw with a hand that has Stomp into Beanstalk Giant, and all I need to do is draw lands and Lucky Clover? I think I can do that. I can probably pull that off. Now that's a land. That's nice. I feel like our opponent has an truly honest and accurate name. I believe we are playing against dinosaurs. But what is truly curious here is the possibility that the opponent might not be playing red? Can you play dinosaurs without red? I thought for sure the 5-drop that gives dinosaurs haste is like the playable part. Okay. Opponent agrees that it is not the most optimal curve out from them. I suppose I can understand that. Boop, boop, boop. Wow. Whoa, if you concede while playing Overgrown Tomb, you don't have to pay 2 life to get it into play untapped? I didn't know about that exploit. Huh. Neat. Ooh, that one's getting filed away. What's the principle or the general rule between shocking and not shocking yourself? I don't know that there's any good heuristic for that across, like, all formats, because it's so contextual. It depends on the deck you're playing, it depends on the game you're in, it depends on the matchup you're in, like, wildly contextual. But generally it comes down to, I mean, this isn't really going to be, like, informative, but you have to make an evaluation of how valuable is the tempo of having land untapped on this turn versus how likely is 2 life to matter a turn from now, 2 turns from now, 3 turns from now. And you're kind of just weighing your perceptions of the average development of that game in multiple different iterations. There is no particular, like, one secret to doing it better. It's doing that thing, and that thing is complicated. Okay, keep. Dinosaur spells you cost 1 less to cast. Don't. As tempting as it is to play Lucky Clover, because playing Lucky Clover is the best, I am probably supposed to kill my opponent's mana dorks. Also, hey, they're playing Jund. I'm not going to get to play Bonecrusher on 3, which is sad. Oh, Marauding Raptor is scary. Wow, that's a lot of Omnaths. I wish I was playing Bonecrusher this turn. rather than that Lucky Clover. No, not Regisaur Alpha. That's a problem. Okay, good news. I get to trade with this dinosaur. With my Edgewall Innkeeper. That's something at least. Okay, well I guess I'm not playing Bonecrusher, I'm now playing Omnath. Considering I have 3 Omnaths, that's probably pretty free. Yeah, Rotting Regisaur with haste is a problem. I guess not, actually, because it took 2 damage. So it's like the opposite of a problem. Okay, well, I guess I win, because I get to play Omnath and Bonecrusher in the same turn that I'm gaining 4 life. And also activating Beanstalk. This is stupid. I love it. I mean, I might still lose this game, but it's getting harder. I looked at the auto tapper to see whether it was going to give us the red mana, and even if it didn't, I could have still fetched a mountain. Okay, this could be scary. They have the right creature here, I might die. No, they don't. Oh. Do I trade off the Omnath? I probably trade off the Omnath, because I want to play the other Omnath. Just watch. Yeah. Dinosaurs with swords are probably the biggest problem right now. We have won with Thud and Body 0 times. This is true. Whoa, does this not get... Oh, it's only if it's a dinosaur. Huh, okay. Okay. How's the deck performed? The deck has performed pretty much as I expected, which is that as long as you don't have a completely non-functional draw, you win. The necessary conditions for this deck to fail are pretty challenging.